Hello everyone, my name is Timofey, and today we have a special interview with Alexander Stolmaier, the creator of SML. Say hello, Alexander.
Hi everyone, this is Alexander Stolmaier. I was involved in the development of mods like Water Returns, Hardcore, and Remaster from Social Media Live Productions.
Thank you, Alexander, for responding to the questions and agreeing to answer them. I really appreciate it. All right, let's get started with the interview. Let's go. So the first question, why is your group called Social Media Life, or SML for short? How did you come up with that name?
I actually came up with the name Social Media Live Productions when I was 14. I might have been 13, but I can't remember exactly right now. But I definitely remember it was 2013 because originally it was the name of my channel or my account on one of the file sharing sites. I don't think it's available now, but there are some screenshots. Originally it was just Social Media Live. We wanted to emphasize that our team is not just about games, but also about real communication, since that vContact group was meant to be more than just something about the game. I wanted to create a space where people could be there and communicate with each other, maybe exchange some ideas and their creativity too. Why not? And the abbreviation SML sounds modern and catchy. But that came from the participants themselves. No one ever called themselves SML. That was already thought of by the group members.
Interesting. All right, let's move on to the second question. When you started creating the remaster version, what challenges did you face at the beginning of the development?
Work on the remaster started around 2019. Before that, there were some ideas, but we couldn't bring them all together. The main goal was to update the graphics and add new content while keeping the spirit of the original game. Of course, there were a lot of challenges. From studying the source code to working with textures and animation, I can definitely say that we faced limitations of the original engine. That's the least of it. We didn't have much free time, and even now there's even less.
The third question. After the remaster, do you perhaps have any ideas on what you'll possibly do next?
Of course, yes, we have ideas. We always have a lot of ideas. In general, we have ideas. Maybe create some separate levels. Maybe do something completely new. Have there been such ideas before? For example, the visual novel Woody and Roger the Other Story. It's a visual novel that should combine elements that are completely different from the style of the original game. There were supposed to be new characters, with a strong emphasis on visuals and the storyline. We worked on this project for a while, but due to difficulties, we abandoned it. Elena Sergeyeva was involved in this project. A big thank you to her for that. She made a lot of sketches and brought in many ideas.
Well, I guess I'll be waiting, but not just me. Other people will be too. Alright, the fourth question, by the way. Probably everyone has asked this, right? Why is your first modification called Woody Returns?
I can say this. It was the first modification ever created based on the KDS games. There had never been anything like it before. The name just came to mind. Woody Comes Back or Woody Returns. And I think it sounds good, so we decided to use it. Also, the name Woody Returns symbolizes the main character's return to the game, but in a slightly different format. Still, there were changes. I wanted to tap into nostalgia and the love for the original. I think it turned out well.
Alright, fifth question. Did you believe in the success of the first modification? That it would become a foundation for other modders?
To be honest, at first we just wanted to create something of our own to share with other fans and of course to play it ourselves. We were kids. But when we saw such a positive response, there was a lot of it, and the community was really active, we realized that our project could inspire others. Actually, it makes me really happy, so I'm not even against people using it as a basis for their mods or for something else. For heaven's sake, why not?
Sixth question. Did you have the idea to make a post from the console version of KDS?
You could say this is one of those most desired ideas that is, of course, very hard to bring to life. It's quite a challenging task because it requires a lot of resources, a big team, and a lot of time, and so on. I hope that when the opportunity arises, we'll take it on. I would really like that.
So the next question, what do you think about the re-release from the official developers? What can you say about this re-release?
The official remaster is indeed an interesting project, but it has its pros and cons, and I think you all know about them. On one hand, it's nice to see that the developers haven't forgotten about the series and are trying to update it in some way. On the other hand, well, honestly, it seems to me that the game's potential hasn't been fully realized. Maybe because of some budget or time constraints, I don't know. Ideally, they could have done a console port, but something went wrong. It turned out like this. Woody is back on steroids.
Interesting. Alright, let's move on to the 8th question. How did you meet Shred Game Channel, and what is your relationship with him like at the moment?
Shred. Well, I consider him my friend. Well, he's a friend of our project, our team. Actually, we met while discussing games in the comments. Back then, he was just a budding Let's Player, a video game reviewer, and we were just starting out as modders, if you can call it that. I think our collaboration is an example of how games bring people together.
So, 9th question. How many people are in your team? And will you be expanding?
Actually, core team has always consisted of 3 people. Nikolai Kulakov, Daniel Guzvin and me. We are enthusiasts who work on level design, graphics, programming, testing. Sometimes someone joins us like, well, maybe translators for example. For the master, we even got a translator for the Siberian language. It's something exotic, unusual. The master got a translator for the Siberian language. This is something so exotic, unusual. We've had testers, I can't remember them all, but someone shows up to help us, and we're all for it. Andrei Moskvin made many sprites, his animations are great, he worked hard. So he's part of the team. Many people helped, not all can be named. For example, Andrei Moskvin created a lot of sprites for the remaster. I really like his animations. He did a great job. Many thanks to him for that. So I consider him part of the team too. There are a lot of people, you can't mention them all. If you have any ideas, you can always write to us in the public channel on the Discord server that I've been managing for the last year and a half. Sometimes people message me privately, why not? So we're always open to talented people who are ready to contribute. It's better for all of us.
The 10th question. Wow, already the 10th one. How did you come up with the idea to change something in the game when it comes to the neighbor?
When I was a schoolboy, somewhere in middle school, I might have been around 13 or maybe 12, I don't really remember, but I had a dream that I was playing what seemed like an original game, but it was altered. And it was so unexpected, so unusual. After a while, I tried to modify the game files myself. Of course, I didn't succeed at all. Abandoned that idea. Then I came back to that idea around November 2013. Something started to work out. But it was, of course, all just a joke, something like messing around. Opening the files is half the battle. At that moment, it was something really wow. So I decided to create a VK group for the game around January 2014. I was curious back then why such a game had no modifications at all. Just 0. Nothing. I started to dig into the files on my own and trying to crack them using trial and error. Around the same time I saw the console version. I hadn't even heard of it before. And I really liked it. Especially the fact that you could see the house itself, not just the bricks like in the original. And that's how my first attempts at modifying the original game began.
The 11th question. Are you by any chance planning to create games?
Why not? I think it's a natural step. Creating games is a chance to tell your story, to bring to life some of your ideas that haven't been realized in any project yet. We always wanted to create something original, not just for the sake of it. Something of our own, maybe with elements of comedy and puzzles. I think everyone would like that, not just us.
The 12th question. This one is the most interesting. Can you say how many % of the remaster is ready?
I can't give a percentage, but I can say that we've tackled the main stages of development, but there are still details to work on, optimization and final testing. I think many of you have already played the first part of the remaster. Many people liked it, but there were of course bugs. That's what we warned about. And thanks to the feedback from many people, we were able to fix those bugs. So thank you all very much. It's thanks to you that we were able to release the patch. Well, I think it's no secret that we want players to get a perfectly polished product. That's the point.
The 13th question. Have you played any games like GTA, Fallout, Widowmaker and so on? The Witcher and similar games?
Well, of course, I played some games, although I never had much free time, and I didn't have a powerful computer, so I couldn't play games like The Witcher or GTA Full. That's why I played games that weren't very demanding. As a child, I liked GTA Vice City, San Andreas, Plants vs. Zombies, SimCity 4, and so on. Right now, I can't remember everything. Zombie says 754 and so on. Now I already have everything. Whoa, I didn't remember everything, and I think each of these games can impress in its own way. For example, open worlds, strong storylines, or certain mechanics. Maybe some of them could fit into How to Get a Neighbor. Who knows?
Question 14. What top 3 modifications in KDS would you choose?
I'm not going to make a top list, but I can definitely say that Woody Returns is used in many modifications and, well, let's not hide it. This is the mod that started it all. I think it definitely deserves to be in this top list. Another work I've seen is the modeling by Russ Joy. Specifically thanks to him, you can now play the originals in a wide format. I really like that. Specifically thanks to him, you can now play the originals in a wide format. I really liked it. I even made a post on VK.
And the last 15th question. When will the full version of the remaster be released? Will you support it?
Yeah, of course, because there were patches for Hardcore and Woody Returns, since there are always some flaws and bugs. There have already been 2 patches for the remaster, so why not? In general, personally, I would like to release updates, maybe add new levels, maybe DLC in one form or another. Such a game can be developed for a very long time. The scope is really vast. Everything comes down to ideas, and as you know, there are always a lot of ideas.
Thanks to Alexander for participating.
Thank you for your questions.
That's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the VK group and Discord. Thanks again to Alexander for participating. See you all, bye bye.